Hi everybody, I'm back. We were in the software with my screen recorder. Now we're at my craft table with the video recorder, and I'm just going to pick up where we left off in the video. As you recall in the video, we set up our rhinestone pattern. We went into the cutting control panel. I set my passes to 1 and my knife offset to 20. Now at my cutter, based on previous test results, I'm leaving my speed at 4. I'm setting my force to 2. I'm using the Gazelle deep cut blade, slightly extended, and you can't see it, but I'm using a very, very tiny plumber's rubber O-ring. I've already made sure that my gold nut and my gold screw are secure, and now I'm ready for my template material. Normally I would have my cutting mat on my flat work table to apply material, but I don't have an assistant to run the video camera for me, so I'm doing everything within the space that fits in my viewfinder for my video camera. The material I'm using is the same rubber template material that you can order from BOSSKUT.com. It's a rubber stencil material. It is almost but not quite 3/4 of a millimeter thick, and it comes with a protective backing on it. It's a sticky material. You can place your material onto the cutting mat with or without this protective backing that it comes on. I prefer to use it without the backing, and I'll show you why when it's finished cutting. So I'm removing it from the backing, and based on my stencil design size, I've already trimmed my template material. I've removed the backing, and I'm just going to place it directly on my Gazelle cutting mat. Place it in the lower right hand corner, just the same as you would your cardstock or any other material. And you want to make sure you can have it secure to the mat. You can just rub it down with your fingers, or you can use a brayer, but make sure it's nice and flat and well secured. And then feed the mat into the cutter. And again, just like you would with cardstock or any other material, you want to start with the tip of your blade in the lower right hand corner of the template material. Before you go to cut, make sure you've turned your red light off. Now, you can't see my computer screen now, but I'm in my cutting control panel, and I'm going to click on the Cut Project button and just sit back and watch for a moment, and we'll watch the Gazelle cut all of those tiny little holes perfectly out of this thick rubber template material. Here we go. There we go. That didn't take too long. Now turn on your red light and feed the cutting mat out of the machine. Now I'm going to continue working right here so you can see what I'm doing without me having to move the camera or anything. I don't think you're going to be able to see it at this point in the video, but the Gazelle has cut out all of the tiny little holes for our rhinestone template. And at this point is where you'll see why I like to take the backing off of the template material and put the sticky back template material directly on my cutting mat. I don't want to have to poke out all these little holes individually, and that's what I would have to do if I left the backing on the material. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to start in the corner of the template material and peel it back. And I'm going to peel it back, if you can see how I'm doing this, right onto itself. And I'm going to pull the material from the corner straight back onto itself. And by doing that, well, it should work. These holes will stick to the cutting mat. Well, they're not sticking as well as they should, but you get the general idea. So now I'm just going to put this over here, and I'm going to put it down on my sticky mat, and those holes are going to, the cutout holes will stick to it. I might have to poke out a few. So, here we go. I'm not actually poking them out, I'm just kind of scraping them off because they're stuck to the template material. They're completely cut, there's no tags. They're just sticking to the material. Get a clean area of mat. I think I got them all. Oh, just a couple more. If you pull it back kind of quickly, it seems to work better. There we go. All of the little sticky holes that I cut out are now stuck to my mat, and I can use a scraper or the edge of a credit card, whatever works for you. I've got one of these little doodads, and as you can see, they'll just scrape right off. Now, I know you don't want to watch me clean my mat, so I'm just going to stick the mat aside. We're finished with the cutter, so I'm just going to close that up. Now, the next step that you want to do is put a backing on this template material. I've got a couple of circles stuck to the back of it. Sorry about that. There we go. Now they're stuck to my fingers, so I'm just wiping them on my jeans. The next thing you want to do is put a backing on this. If you were to put rhinestones on this template material right now, they would just fall through the back. So unless you're using a hot fix rhinestone tool to apply stones individually, you want a back on this material. I've already got a piece of thin chipboard ready. I've already trimmed it down to size, and I'm just going to kind of line this up and stick my template material to it. I guess I'm not real coordinated at this. I should have practiced more. There we go. So apply your template material to a backing, and like I said, I'm using a thin chipboard. You don't have to use chipboard. You can use plastic stencil material, you can use cardstock, whatever you have handy, just about anything will work. The only purpose of this backing is to keep the rhinestones from falling through when you put them on the template material. Now, I am going to show you the process of brushing the rhinestones into these little holes and applying them with transfer tape to another product. But I need a little bit more elbow room and another wall outlet for the iron. So I'm going to stop the video at this point, and I'll be back in just a moment. So give me just a moment to transfer everything into the kitchen, and we'll get on to the next steps of putting the rhinestones into these little holes. It's not as monotonous as it sounds. It's actually really easy and really fun. So take a moment to press the pause button on your video player, and when you come back, I'll be all set up in the kitchen and we'll be ready to finish this tutorial. Thanks, and see you in a few minutes.